What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Real Word Podcast, a place where real thoughts, real ideas, and real words come to life. I'm your host, Drew, coming from San Diego, California. Thank you for stopping by, tuning in, checking out the channel. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit up those links down below. And now we can get into the episode. It is June 15th, 2020. It is Monday morning. And wow, what a frustrating start to the morning. Wow. I cannot even believe it. So I got in here this morning. Should have been just an easy setup. I haven't been messing with any of my settings on the computer. Nothing has changed. I haven't even restarted it often. So no settings have been updating and nothing has been going on. I went to go open my Pro Tools session to get, this all going. And it says it's not available because it's attached to the cloud. I didn't even put it in the goddamn cloud. Why is it doing this? So I had to find a session that's not even the podcast session. And luckily that one wasn't in the cloud and I'm able to just record it here. But fuck, man. The shit is so annoying. It's like I never had any of these problems when I had a Mac and my Apple computer or my Apple laptop or anything like that. I have run into so many problems and issues with this goddamn Microsoft. And, it sucks to have to complain about getting a free fucking computer, but I have never had so many issues and so much frustration dealing with this. It's just, I can't even... Oh my god. It's ridiculous. Oh, so I just had to start out with that and just I don't even know what to do because I didn't even switch anything up. I've been running smooth on this and then just all of a sudden this morning it just all fucks up. I don't get it. It makes no sense to me and just is causing me extreme frustration. I'm already really frustrated and on edge in general over these last few months. And it's just growing more and more, that frustration. And then shit like this happens. And yeah, it is really frustrating. Luckily, I'm able to do it. And I figured out some way, but like I said, I've never had this many issues before with the Mac like I do with this goddamn Microsoft bullshit. It's like it does things for you that you didn't even ask it to do. It updates shit that you didn't even want to be updated. I closed out of this cloud thing. I canceled my account with it because I ran into this issue early on, thought I figured it out, canceled that account, deleted it. Shit shows up and fucking does it again like 2-3 weeks later. Like, I don't get it. It's the most frustrating thing. Like, I really want to just get rid of this computer and just get a Mac. Then I gotta fucking reset everything up again and spend a whole day re-downloading everything, and it's just a very frustrating thing, that is for sure. But let's clear my mind a little bit. I got this dab. It's that pink lemonade batter. I did get some more of that from Highland. So that's the Highland right there. And yeah, I don't think I can really. Maybe I can get a little close. A little bit, but this stuff I swear, man, it has that pink lemonade smell to it. Like, it's really strange. And lemonade and pink lemonade has a different, smell to it. So and that has a straight up like pink lemonade vibe. It's crazy. Like, I don't understand how they can do that. But yeah, man, it has definitely been a frustrating morning, and I can't believe it. It's been a frustrating couple of months. I've been just really lonely, really just frustrated, sexually frustrated, just yeah, just a lot kind of going on, and not being able to have needs met, and just still constantly arguing with my ex, and it's a frustrating time. It's a frustrating time. It's like, I know what I believe in, I know what I want, but it's like, it just doesn't seem to matter to anybody else, or what I want just doesn't seem to matter. What I believe in just doesn't seem to matter, but it's what I believe in, and it's like, I'm not just gonna give up on that. I mean, I can't give up on what I believe in, what I believe to be true and, right. So, I don't know. But I'm getting like, it's not good. My mental health is like really struggling lately. I'm having no motivation. I'm no discipline. Everything's a mess. I'm getting more and more frustrated with everything. Little things are setting me off, and it all kind of stems from that loneliness feeling, and, not having that physical connection or a physical relationship with somebody. Call me weak, whatever. I don't really care. That's what it is. At least I recognize it. I know what it is. But it doesn't mean it'll make it better, because I know what I want, and it just doesn't seem to matter because it's not getting fixed. So, I don't know. I don't know what to do about all that stuff. Just letting this cool down for just a second, but we're gonna get into this dab. But yeah, that's kind of what's going on with the mental health stuff. It's still more of the same, man. Still more of the same. Up and down. And me causing problems, but it stems from this frustration, loneliness, and I really don't know what to do. I don't. So I just suffer every day, basically. All right, let's get into this. Cheers. All right. Have a sip of coffee. So yeah, let me just get into this weekend. This was a strange weekend. Like I said, my just mental health has been just messed up lately, and I haven't really been able to really function much. So just a lot of the days are the same. Definitely feeling like that Groundhog Day where just everything is the same. Everything's, nothing's changing. Um, at least for me, even though things are changing and, places are starting to open and stuff, but it's still tough for me. And yeah, this whole weekend was just kind of a blur and dragged on, but then went fast at the same time. And yeah, I don't know what's going on with me, man. It's tough though. It is tough. But I woke up Saturday and saw that Disaster, the battle rapper, was on the Be Real. I think it was like Dr. Green Thumb podcast or something, with Be Real from Cypress Hill and a couple of those guys. And man, Disaster's been going off on social media. I think they deleted his Twitter, but he's still very active on Instagram, and he's just been, this is nothing new to him, but he's been exposing and talking about all the conspiracies and, stuff that is backed up by facts. He's been talking about all of that, and this was a good platform for him to be able to talk about it, and instead of just posting memes or long paragraphs on Instagram, this was a good forum for him to be able to like express some of these views and, have a good conversation and just point out some of these facts and do it on like I said, a pretty good platform. A lot of people know who Be Real is in Cypress Hill and stuff, especially if you're a weed smoker, and even if not, they've crossed over for sure. But yeah, man, he was on there just talking about all sorts of truth stuff and conspiracy stuff, and it's always interesting and pretty cool to hear like an influential person, more than myself. Like, I don't have any followers or anything like that. I'm just somebody who's been into conspiracies and finding the truth since I was a little kid, man. And it's always kind of, yeah, it's always interesting when a celebrity or someone who I, look up to or whatever, starts talking about the same stuff and even references some of the same videos that you've seen on your own, like independently, and they're just exposing and expressing the same information that you're trying to express and have been expressing for years and stuff. And that's what this was when Disaster went on this podcast. It was just all the stuff that I've been, researching myself and looking into and talking about. And so it's cool to kind of get that validation. It's like, all right, I'm on to something. I'm doing something right. And it's like, same thing happened when, listening to some B.O.B. stuff and then listening to Tinfoil Hat podcast. It's like, we're all kind of on the same wavelength with those types of things. Like, may not agree with everything or anything like that, but it's like I've definitely stumbled across like all of these things that these people are talking about. And sometimes they shed light on something new that I've never heard, which is awesome too. But like I said, it's always kind of validating and pretty cool when you hear one of the, a celebrity or one of these people talking about these conspiracies that you've been into for a long time and just kind of expressing the same things. Like I said, you can go back and listen a couple months back, and I'm talking about what could happen with, the lockdown and all of that. I didn't necessarily expect a race thing to come from it, but go listen, man. I was like, I'm kind of worried about this. More lockdowns, more military presence, all this stuff. And look what happened, man. Like, I didn't think it was going to be for this reason, but it still ended up happening. It's like, if you can see their playbook or you understand their playbook and what they have done in the past, you can kind of predict what you think is going to happen. And that's all that is really going on. So yeah, that's that was cool, listening to that podcast, and it's just a hell yeah, hell yeah, hell. I remember that. Yep, talking about that too. So it's it's always cool. And like I said, to me it's just validating. It's like, yeah, I must be on the same track or on the same page, or I'm doing something right if we're kind of crossing paths like with the stream of thought and finding the same information and stuff. So that was that morning on Saturday, and I did get around to watching Uncut Gems Saturday as well. And my brother watched that and he told me to check it out at some point. So I finally did. And wow, man, what a crazy movie. What like a anxiety panic attack from the very beginning. It just doesn't stop. It's just like constant like oh my gosh, like dealing with gambling and just that whole shadiness, pawn shop, jeweler, and that whole industry, and it it does it really good in my opinion. Like it portrays that life and that lifestyle really well, and it was just wow intense. And to see Adam Sandler in that type of role was really interesting. He played it off really good. He played that character just, man, I think to perfection. It was a just really intense, and like I said, like you just feel like you're, excuse me, on the edge of your seat with this like panic attack from the very beginning, and then at the end, it's just like, oh my gosh, um, yeah, it's like when it was all happening at the end, I was like, oh, this is not gonna end well. Something's gonna happen, and then when you watch it, it's like, oh my god, of course, it's insane. But I thought it was a really good movie. It was a strong movie. Um, could you say it's Adam Sandler's best? Possibly, possibly showed a lot of range and actually was able to kind of get into a character that I'm sure he's not necessarily familiar with. It's not just this silly, goofy comedy character where he's over the top and can do his voices. And, you know, this was just more drama, more intense, more just realism. And, yeah, to see Adam Sandler in that type of role was really interesting, but he did it really well. And I definitely recommend watching the movie. It's intense, but I think it's worth it. There's just a lot going on in it. And it's entertaining. It is entertaining, that's for sure. That is for sure. Um Not gonna lie, there were some UFC fights on that evening, but again, just due to like my mental health and all of that, I had them on, but I couldn't tell you what happened. I do know it was in Vegas at the Apex Center, and I do like that smaller octagon. Let's make the octagon smaller. Let's keep the crowd out, and let's just keep these fights going like this, please. Um, I really like it. I like it a lot. But yeah, this card, I think it was just a fight night or an ESPN card or so. I don't know. Who knows what the card was? But I had it on, watched it, but I was probably more focused on my phone or just in my own head and just yeah. It like I said, it's been really tough, but I did have those on. I do know the in the main event, I don't know their names. I'm sorry. Like I said, it's been really rough, and I just wasn't really paying attention. But I do know the one who was the number one contender got beat, and I think this other lady wasn't even ranked. Like I didn't see a number on her name, but she took out the number one contender. So that puts her right up there, and I wouldn't be surprised if title shot next against Valentin Shevchenko. But man, watching those two fight who just fought on Saturday, and then comparing it to Valentin Shevchenko, it's like she is just light years ahead, man. There's like no comparison. It's pretty crazy how advanced she is, um seemingly over almost all of, you know, the competition. But we do have Amanda Nunes, who is, probably the best female fighter ever, just based on her resume and everything. Uh, so we'll see. The women's divisions are kind of interesting right now. There's not much going on in a couple of the divisions, so, and we could just see it, man. The competition just isn't there. The quality just isn't quite there. The champs are gonna be the champs for a reason, and I don't see either of them kind of giving it up. Those two, at least, I don't know who all the champs are. I think it might just be Amanda Nunes and Valentin Shevchenko. So I don't know. I don't know what happens with the women's divisions, and the women need to step up, I feel, and just step your game up, man. That's what you got to do, I feel, because the competition at the top is just, light years ahead of the rest, and you can really tell it's like these other ladies are just moving slower, and just, don't get me wrong, they're professional, they're doing it. I could never do that. Don't get me wrong. But just looking from like a fan's standpoint, it just seems like um the champions are champions for a reason, and the competition is just a step or two below, and I don't see them making up that ground to get to where the champs are. So we'll see, though. It'd be awesome to see some actual really good competitive championship fights in the female divisions. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. And don't get me wrong, there are some great competition, there are some great fights and stuff, but it just seems like the level, oh, excuse me, hiccups. The level between the competition and the champions just seem to be on a different level. It really does. But again, I don't really remember much of the rest of the card. That was kind of the main thing that I do remember. I wasn't watching the early prelims or anything like that, but I did hear when I threw it on a little later in the prelims that like the first three fights all ended in submission with the first minute of the round or something like that. First time in history. So that's pretty interesting. That's pretty crazy. A lot of people are saying like that it has to do with the small octagon and stuff. I don't know. I don't know what the small octagon is doing, but it seems to be more exciting, and I like it like that. That's for sure. Yeah, I like the small octagon, and I like the no crowds. I like being able to hear, all the impacts. I like being able to hear the coaches talk. I just like that vibe. It's just better to me, in my opinion. So yesterday, Sunday, my brother came over in the morning. I was finishing up writing some notes for our episode. This was a really tough episode for us to get through and kind of finally navigate and do. But we do have a new episode of Drew and Chase side by side that will be coming out. I do gotta work on the video and get it, uploaded and all of that, but that will be up and out probably within maybe today, maybe within the next day or so. um, and who knows how often we'll be doing that still. I know he's gonna be going back to school and gonna be more busy and, things like that. But we're still going to be doing it when we can. And like I said, I don't know if it was because of everything going on, if it were the albums. I don't know what it was, but I just wasn't really feeling it this time. We had to push it off for about 3 weeks, but we finally did it, and it actually turned out pretty good. Like, we actually had, quite a lot to say. I don't think it was our shortest episode, and, definitely wasn't our longest. So it was right there with everything else, and we got through it, and it was good. I liked it. And so just on to the next. We got done with that one, and now we just got to keep it moving. So that was cool that we were able to get that going and do that, because like I said, we did kind of push it off for a few weeks now. So be on the lookout for that. Drew and Chase side by side. I'll just tell you what albums we did right now. First off, we chose the year 1994. Chase's birth year, so that was pretty cool. Excuse me. And then I chose Nas's debut album, Illmatic. And my brother Chase chose Vitology from Pearl Jam. So those are the two albums that we listened to, and once that's uploaded, go check out that episode, check out our thoughts. And yeah, we actually both had kind of a personal connection, so check out for that. Or not a personal connection, just a personal story, I should say. No connections, my bad, wrong word. Personal story though, we each have a personal story about each of the artists we chose, so that's pretty cool. You can go check that out when it uploads again. But yeah, that was good. What else? Went over to Zach's to watch Backlash, WWE Backlash. Our buddy Edgar was there. He showed up as well. I went to this pizza spot, Gianni's Pizza, for the first time in Oceanside. And I guess they've been there for quite a while. They're just kind of like, not this dive pizza joint, but, this small, looks like a mom and pop pizza shop. And I guess they had some pretty good vegan options. And my brother pointed it out to me a couple weeks ago. And man, I looked at their menu when he told me, and they looked amazing. Their vegan options looked amazing. So ever since then, I've been craving it, but just never found my way kind of in that area. I just don't leave, you know what I mean? So I was going over to Zach's, and Gianni's is just a couple exits past him, so called in my order, got that picked up, and went over to Zach's, and then Edgar showed up a little bit after that. We watched Backlash, and man, I'm just so over WWE right now. I was just there to more hang out with the buddies and have conversation and things like that, because I just really do not care about the product of WWE right now. It's just not entertaining. They're just kind of on some bullshit right now, and I'm not really a fan, honestly. And that's, for me, this kind of always happens. I go through ups and downs and waves with the WWE. I'll still usually always keep my eye on it and be checking out for it, especially over the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years or so, however long I've been back into it. But during like my teenage years and stuff, I definitely stopped watching for probably close to a decade, 7, 8 years or something like that, I would say. But over this, span of when I started watching it again, there would be ups and downs where I kind of lose interest, but I'd still always kind of keep my eye on it. This is probably the most I've been uninterested in it. And I couldn't even really tell you what happened. I do know Randy Orton and Edge had the final match of the night, and it was advertised as the greatest wrestling match ever. It's so stupid how they do that. You can't tag that before the match happens, or which was weird. Maybe the match did happen because we were watching it. One, they had like crowd noise pumped in, which was really strange. They also had at one point they were showing some in ring action, my bad. And you could also see in the background, so the ring's like here, camera's here, so it's, facing here. Announce desk is back here. You can see, well, you can hear Samoa Joe doing commentary, but you can see his mouth isn't moving. Why the hell are they pre-recording shit and not even mixing it in properly? Why? So that, those are the things. It's like, I didn't even notice it, but Zach did. We rewound it real quick. And I was like, what the fuck are they doing, man? This is some bullshit for real. And then, yeah, it was obvious that they were pumping in crowd noise. You could hear it. Like the crowd, like the few people that they had scattered out, like, they were trying to cheer here and there and stuff, but it was nowhere near of what it sounded like on TV. Oh, it was annoying. It was annoying. And I know that their championship match was like third match from the main event. It's like, how are you going to have your main championship match not even be the main event? That really shows the value of that champion. Shit's whack. That is so stupid to me. But no, then they're going to have this match advertised as the greatest wrestling match ever. And it's supposed to not even be, have done yet. So how can they even advertise that? But it seems like they did have it filmed and they were able to advertise it like that, but it wasn't the best. There's no way. These two don't even like wrestle like that. So how could it be the greatest wrestling match ever? Oh, wrestling. WWE. It's a frustrating thing. But I will say, going over to Zach's, that was a good time. Seeing Edgar, that was a good time. But it is cool, man. Like, I like going over to Zach's. They have a really cool spot, really cool house. And him and his wife. And they've been, trying to get their garden started over the last couple of years. They've been vegan now for a while now as well, so they're trying to, get proper soil, proper nutrients, all that to get stuff to grow. They've been having trouble with it to get anything to grow over the last couple of years, but just, over the last few months or whatever, their garden has been popping off, and it's so awesome. It's like, that's what I want to do, is have a garden, grow my own stuff, and it's looking really good for them, and it's really awesome, man. They got a good variety of like vegetables going and stuff, and that's just awesome. They got a nice, little yard and stuff that they can do that in, and it's cool that they were able to kind of finally get it growing, after a couple years and, spending all this money trying to get, proper soil and all that, and to finally have it going and see the proof and then be able to, harvest your own stuff is just, it's awesome. It's a great feeling. I have grown stuff, fruits and vegetables, peppers and stuff in the past. So I do know that feeling, and that's why I was like, man, I just really want that again. That's what I would like for sure. Like having a piece of property like they have and being able to just kind of grow my own stuff and just live like that, live more free. that is ideal. That is what I would want 100%. But just getting into this dab, just heating this up real quick. Right now, this is some new stuff that I got from the other day. It's called Sunday Driver Live Resin Butter, and this is from Barre Labs. I haven't had them before until this time. Maybe I've had Barre Labs before. And I know I've had Sunday Driver flour, but I don't think I've had the concentrate before. And I'm not 100% sure about Barre Labs. The brand sounds familiar, but I don't know. And this won't be my first dab of this stuff, but this is my first purchase of their stuff. So, because I've already broken into it over the last couple of days. So that's why it's not my first dab of this stuff. But yeah, this is that Sunday Driver. Let this cool down for just a second. It is definitely more of a sugar or something because it's kind of crumbly. Yeah, it's more of a sugar crumble or something. But let's get into this and then I will get out of here. I can't believe it's already almost about 36 minutes or so. Pretty crazy. Didn't even have a lot that I wanted to talk about, but this morning just was really frustrating. And I went off. All right, let's get into this. Cheers, everybody. Oh, yeah. Yup. So I think that is gonna do it, everybody. I gotta figure out what happened with this Pro Tools and what I gotta do to get my session back. Because this is just a blank one that has none of my previous recordings. So I gotta figure it out. That's what I'm gonna do. I also gotta, upload this and then figure out the drone chase side by side, and there's a lot I gotta do. So that will do it for me. I appreciate everybody. Make sure to like, share, subscribe. Tune in to Tuesday Morning Tokes tomorrow morning. And I think we will possibly be going live on @the_No World Order podcast IG tomorrow as well at 2:30, but I will let you know either way on social media. So hit up the links down below. Stay informed, stay updated. Join that Robinhood link. That'll help me out. Hit up the email if you want to, help out everybody on the channel. Yeah, and that's it. Thank you, everybody. Till next time. Peace.